What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to part 4 of the Arknights free-to-play Is It Worth This series. Now, I will tell you this one's probably going to be split into multiple videos again because really in this game there's just so much I need to cover and so many things that are important for me to talk about. And especially event-wise, though I don't really get to any of the event stuff in this first part of the video. But we'll see how many it's split into, and I'll try to go over as much as possibly can. But first things first, I used the free headhunting roll that you get per day from the event, and I pulled Jay for the first time, so I'm very excited about that. Happy to try to add him into my roster at some point, though currently it's a little hard with the resources that I have. I've been pulling so many operators, new ones that I want to add into my lineup lately, so it's been a little hard trying to keep enough to really work on every hero. And you know, I really need to make a point of going to E2 on some of these heroes because really I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to need stronger and stronger operators, and it's really going to help just in the long run. But I do pull a 5-star out of this one, and I did use the OP for this one mainly because I wanted to try to get as many pulls as I could to try to guarantee a 6-star. But as you can see, I got Cantabile once again, which is perfectly fine. I want to try to max out that hero because she is really nice. She's been a great addition to the team. I will say though that I have been saving up my OP since this pull. I'm not sure if I used any more past this one. I might have. I don't exactly remember, but I'm up to about 20 something, I think. So, you know, we're getting a decent amount saved, and there's still so much that I can earn. But we're getting some nice additions to the team, some nice prestige points, and all in all, it's really raising my commendation, my distinctions quite a bit. So I'm getting closer and closer to actually purchasing a 6-star out of the store, which I'm very excited about, though I don't know what one that I necessarily want. So we'll see when the time comes. If I can guarantee that I have it, then you know we'll try to pull that hero. I would have loved to pull Blaze, but you know, having Gavial the Invincible is just fine for me. Now, on the event, I hadn't realized how much I had actually cleared, like, the first day, and so I don't remember if I had put them in the last video or not. Hopefully I did, but either way, I did make the video, if you've seen the Gavial car wash, of me clearing some, though I had already beat them beforehand, so do keep in mind that those were not my first attempts or my early attempts. I did lose some of them quite a few times. I really had to work around and figure out just what I needed to change. But we took Cantabile to E1. I put her up to 45 on the level, and then I took her skill level all the way to 7 because I really wanted to try to get her as strong as possible. The extra attack speed and attack damage that she gets added on her skill 2 is really nice. And I have to say it comes in handy quite well because she only blocks one at a time, so you have to kind of guarantee if you put her in a certain position that she can get it done for you. But as you had seen there, we hadn't E2'd Myrtle yet. If you've seen the post, you know that I took her as my first E2, and in the base I unlocked the training room. Now I still have a lot to do, and I'm face-palming a bit as I'm looking at the base because I realized that there was 3 factories on the bottom that I hadn't built, and I've been missing out on so many points, so much XP from just not doing that. I did that at the end of the week, and it's the worst feeling knowing that I missed out on that much. But we took Perfumer straight to E1, took her to 45 because I needed that AoE heal. I hadn't had one yet, and especially became paramount in this event. I noticed more and more just how of a detriment it was not having an AoE healer. But IC9 of the event with the boss has been kicking my tail horribly, so I was like, you know what, I have to go ahead and do it now. So what I did was I went in, the first time I did it I used a support hero, only got 2 stars. It was a little rough, but the next time I experimented around a lot and figured out a way to do it with just my own heroes and getting it done. So I took Orchid up a little bit for it because I did need a slow really bad, and I needed her to do that extra damage because Premonix is nice, but she doesn't do enough for me currently without the slow. She's a really good hero in the sense of the multi-attack thing for me early on since I don't have many support options. And I do like the defense down and the resistance down, though overall I don't know how much I would use that hero. Probably in niche situations where I can actually figure out a way to do it. But as you can see here, I took her to E2, my first E2 being Myrtle, and I am very happy with that. I am so glad, actually, over the time that y'all had told me just how good Myrtle was, and I realize now how good she was. And I use the healing aspect of it because right now, it really comes in handy with a lot of these situations where I'm trying to fast deploy and get as much out as I can. But I look more and more, and as I'd even said last time in the videos, that it was cringy watching me do some of the moves that I'm doing because I realized just how bad they were. But even still here, I've improved a lot since this point as well. I'm not even activating her ability for the longest time. It was so annoying, and I almost let one slip through just off my carelessness. It's so hard to watch, but this is actually the first time I got to use a support hero, and I chose Ling because I had known people talking about Ling before. Somebody was saying they can't wait to see me use it for the first time, and I will say it seems absolutely broken from what I've experienced so far in this game, because since I had the E2 operators to use, I decided to go back and do some of the challenges that I hadn't done yet, and it almost felt like easy mode. Like, there was no actual difficulty after putting her down, because especially since I hadn't even noticed that she had those little dragon things or serpents or whatever they are. And then I put them down, I activate her ability, and just watch things disappear. I know this is still a low-level challenge because it's only in, like, episode 2, but the amount of damage they do, and then I see that you can upgrade it by stacking 2 together, it just kind of made it feel like I was experiencing this game for the first time. Understanding just how important it is for some of these heroes to reach E2. So, I'm excited looking forward. I'm very, very much excited because I still have so much content to do. There's so much to this game, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Here I'm using Excusii. I am not sure quite how to say that. I'm sorry if I butcher things. I have been trying to look up actually how to pronounce some of these so that I don't make it sound really annoying, because I know that hearing some of your favorite heroes be mispronounced is probably a little annoying to hear, so I do apologize. You can let me know if I do it wrong in the comments. But overall, guys, the thing I worry about, because I do have access to all these great heroes, is building the habit of using it as a crutch. I know it's available, and everyone has the option as long as they have people on the friends list that have these really strong heroes, but I don't want to treat it as use it every time I get the opportunity kind of thing, because obviously you can't auto-deploy if you use a support hero, so if you're really just first clearing a stage, you need to use your own setup. So it really makes it to where I still have to depend on my own strategizing and my own thoughts when clearing things. And that's another point, is I don't often in these videos show my losses. Sometimes I'll talk about them for a moment, but I don't show the overall thought process and the planning that goes into actually beating it for the first time. So if you want to see more of that, it may take a lot more recording. There may be a lot more to the videos that go out, but if you want to see me talk about it, and maybe I can do them individually now that I'm thinking about it, certain ones that are really key points in the story or the hardest ones to complete, maybe I can make individual videos on those and just talk about everything that goes through my mind. Because one thing is, I have a binder in my desk drawer with a bunch of map drawings and stuff that I'm planning out, so I can do some of them visually. I can look at the map and think, okay, this is the best option here, and it works. But there are a lot of them, especially if you watch the Gabriel car wash, know that I put a lot of time into figuring out just how I wanted the cars to rotate, what direction I wanted people to face. So there is a lot of thought that goes into these. I don't just beat them really fast. Somebody said in the comments that it was sad to see that I was completing it so easily compared to them when they had a lot stronger roster and they've been playing a lot more. No, trust me, I am very bad. It just doesn't look as bad since I'm only showing you the completions. sometimes it takes a decent amount of time to really figure out what I'm doing. I will say that I have gotten a ton better, but that's what I love about this game so much, is that you have the option to keep learning, whether it's a few months down the road, maybe you've been playing for a few years and you're still noticing new things. They do a fantastic job of just keeping it fresh and keeping it unique. I know at some point you're going to have a roster that's extremely large and extremely strong, and so it's going to be a little different in that sense, maybe a little easier to figure out. And I know there are people that do strategies with very limited amounts of heroes that are just really good at the game. I'd love to get to that point eventually, but you know, I've got so much time to learn. So I know I'm already partway into this Annihilation mission, but this is the first real introduction up to what the difficulty is going to be like going forward in these, because this one was a huge ramp up. I had, of course, full cleared Chernobog pretty early, and then the other Lungmen I had done to 375. I'd hit a good tier on that. So of course my thought going into it is, I've got this. I bet I could do pretty well. I was not prepared whatsoever, and though I think I did alright for the first time doing it without planning, I got to 242 elims, which is not that far. I only hit 2 milestones, but I was not expecting these dart traps to do stuff where you can't deal with them and you have to kind of sustain. The enemies later on are absolutely nuts. The purple drones are very annoying, but you know, it was a great learning experience. I do another attempt later on, and I'll show you that in the next one, but we're going to end this part of the video here, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.